Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to a total noob having a blast in Age of Empires 4. This is Iron Kaiser Gaming. I am the Iron Kaiser, and this is my first ever multiplayer match with the Templar Knights. They are one of the brand new civilizations that's come out in the most recent AoE4 DLC, the Knights of Cross and Rose, and they are really, really cool. These guys are actually why I started playing AoE4 again. I was hoping they were going to be cool. I was hoping my first match with them would be wild, and I was not disappointed. The ending of this game, so zany. I am so excited to share it with you guys. So, if you're down to watch a total noob kind of introduce the Knights Templar and battle it out in Age of Empires 4, consider liking the video and subscribing to the channel. Please let me know in the comments below if you want to see more AoE4 from me. And with that, let's go ahead and buckle in because this is going to be a fun one. Yours truly, in the purple, playing as the Knights Templar. And let me say out of the gate, unlike my last match, where I purposefully went in totally blind, just relying on instinct, here, I actually do have a game plan in mind. I did a little bit of research, got a sense of some of my possible openings. A little tip of the hat to CrackedyHere and AoE4guides.com. And I ended up deciding on a fast second town center. The idea here was to get up into Age 2 quickly, throw down another town center, and you try to build up a strong early economy, maybe couple that with some relatively early aggression, and then try to leverage that, snowball it into a win, right? So the Templar have a really good Age 2 eco play. So that part's pretty neat. What I did not consider as I was coming up with this plan, because I came up with it before even loading in, is that I am up against, in the red, from Clan ODW, ours, in the red, playing as the other brand new civilization from the Knights of Cross and Rose. It is the House of Lancaster, and these guys are a late game powerhouse. Their main shtick is they have access to, I forget what the building is called. We're going to see in a second. Let's call them mansions. If you're an AoE2 fan, think of the Portuguese feitoria. If you are an AoE3 fan, think of like the Dutch banks. These are buildings that generate a constant supply of resources. And if you let the game go long, they have an extremely strong late game economy. Right? So it may be that I'm making a mistake here out of the gate by kind of not committing to an all-in Age 2. That would be maybe Lancaster's weakness if they play the typical way, is you want to punch them in the face really early on. Well, that's not what I'm doing. I'm going for the eco play. Now you see here my opponent building a wonder. For those of you, and I know a lot of my audience does not have an AoE4 background, this is how most civilizations age up to the next age. Most civs in the game, you've got to build a unique wonder which will give you a certain bonus of some kind or another. It's pretty cool. The Templar are rather unique in that they actually upgrade the old way. They're one of the civs where, one of the very few in AoE4, where you actually research the age up in the town center. So most civs are able to age up and produce out of the TC at the same time. We see Lancaster doing that here, but not the Templar. You have to sort of commit to whatever you got on the field before you click that age up, like you might in AoE2 or with most of your AoE3 civs as well. So my game plan here, I'm trying to get up 350 stone and 400 wood, so that as soon as I hit Age 2, I can get out a second TC. My opponent is first up to the feudal age. One of the interesting features about the Templar, kind of introducing them a little bit, they are really thematic, by the way. We're going to spell out some of their bonuses and what makes them so cool and so unique. One bonus that they've got, which I don't know of any sort of thematic reason why that might have this. I think this is purely gameplay. It's to balance the fact that they have to research the tech in the town center. Templar villagers do not need a lumber camp. So they just chop away at the trees and you're slowly trickling in the wood directly into the bank. And not only do they do that, but woodcutters actually generate a little bit of food as well. So that's a really nice 1-2 combo. You got a constant trickle of food coming in from your lumberjacks. Pretty neat. Now that I've hit age 2, and this is where maybe my noobishness is coming in, you know, I'm juggling all of these things and I forget one of the most important parts of the civilization. The coolest part of the Templar, in my opinion, or at least one of them, is they don't get access to traders in the normal way. Normally, you throw it on a market, and you can trade with the, where are they? You can trade with these trade post sites. Not the Templar. Instead, once you research safe passage here, 200 food and 100 wood, the main town center will constantly produce for free pilgrims. And the pilgrims will automatically travel to a sacred site of your choice, and when they arrive, they will generate gold for you. So, what you want to do as this civilization, get the pilgrims out quickly, and then focus on controlling the map and defending the pilgrims as they travel to the holy sites, right? And then you're rewarded with gold for doing that. That is so awesome. That is very thematic for what this civilization was about historically, of course. And it's a really neat gameplay style. I like it a lot. In my mind, I'm kind of defaulting to normal Age of Empires patterns in my brain, so here's what I've got. A second TC, because we can do that in Age 2 in Age of Empires 4. A second town center. I'm trying to keep both of them working and simultaneously get out a couple of horsemen. Basically, light melee cavalry. This is like a scout rush. My AoE2 brain is going here, and I'm thinking, let's try to get a scout rush going at the same time as I've got these town centers. Because I know my opponent's up to age 3 first, and I don't like that. So that part's really good. I've got all of that, but I am forgetting about the pilgrims, and it's going to be a little while before I research this tech. This should be a priority, but again, because of my noobishness, it ain't happening. Now, I did say earlier that, you know, when you age up, you get to pick an alliance that kind of changes how the civilization plays. You get a unique unit. As we see here, my horsemen running into Lancaster Castle. Come on, come on, come on, come on. There, boom. 1 Vil down. I have a 2 Vil lead at this point. Feeling pretty good about that. Oh, it's so weak. So weak. Ugh. Just between the TC and the... yeah, and the castle. That's dumb. I mean, I got a Vil kill, but could have been better. Anyway, going back home here. So, depending on what alliance you pick when you go up to the next age, you get access to a different unique unit and a different bonus. So in aging up to age 2, I could have allied myself or picked the Antioch Alliance, which would have given melee units more damage, and which honestly might have been not a bad choice for a scout rush like that. Or horseman, a light horseman rush. That might have been good. And I would get the Sergeant, which, my AoE2 friends, looks very similar, but actually is more like a throwing axeman than what we would think of as a Sergeant. You can't build towers with these guys, but instead, they do melee damage at range. Right? And here are my horsemen, off to try to get more damage on the enemy. I've got a Vil lead. I don't know that, but I've got a Vil lead. I want to keep it up. So I could have done that, but I didn't. I could have allied myself with France, which would give me, let me see, units would produce faster, and I would get a slight gold discount as well by going with France. And the main thing is you get an early knight in age 2. You get a knight-like unit in the second age, which would have been a really good plan for maybe rushing my opponent with cavalry, shooting him off of this golden stone. That would have been a winning play. But no, I'm not going with France. Instead, just for the pure thematics, I am a crusading force. I am the Knights Templar. I allied myself with the Knights Hospitaller. And what that does is it gives your villagers more HP, your healing units heal faster, and you get access to the Hospitaller Knight, which is kind of like an AoE2, Age of Empires 2 Warrior Priest. He is a melee swordsman that can also heal other units. Really happy with this raid here. Come on, let's get some damage in there. Boom, he goes down. Gets him off. Gets hours off of stone, which I'm hoping translates... oh my goodness, look at these manners. Yeah, disgusting. And I think if I were more confident with my own play, I would have realized, oh man, all these manners up and running. But I'm not thinking about that. I'm too busy thinking of my own game plan. So yeah, I'm up 6 vills, but man, he's got 4 manners. That's got to count for something. No, I would say the eco is way closer than than what we might see up here. In fact, if we take a look, let's see, I've got 550 food a minute. He has nearly 100 more. I do have a lot more wood than he does, but that's probably me overproducing on wood. Gold, he's got more gold per minute than me. So yeah, I'd say the eco is at least even. But here are the Knights Templar showing up. And this is so cool. I mean, being able to heal up my units and get them ready for round 2. I love these guys. They are just so cool. Hospitaller Knights, let's go! Unfortunately, we have a second defensive tower. Oh my goodness, this guy just does not want to be attacked. So the White Tower and Lancaster Castle. Not every Civ gets double defensive wonders like this, but Lancaster does. And ours definitely knows the game plan he wants to play here. I have a 10-ville lead. You gotta give me that. You gotta give it to me, but the eco isn't really that much better. I do think I have a lead here. Even though it does say right now that ours has a 400-point lead. I refuse to believe it. I'm sorry. I refuse to believe it. The Earl's Guard, the Lancaster unique unit. These guys throw daggers. Again, kind of like the Sergeant, right? So they're pretty cool. And they shut down the Hospitaller, unfortunately. So these back-to-back raids, I got a couple kills, but nothing crazy. Have I researched Pilgrims yet? No, I've not. It's 11 minutes of the game. You should have Pilgrims down by 11 minutes of the game. At least my fundamentals are okay. I'm a little worried at this point. I really wanted to find more damage than I did. Again, my noobishness, I didn't expect to get nuked quite that hard by all these defensive structures. Thought I could do more there, but oh well. Ours is just bringing in the gold. I kind of feel happy though. He's got 18 on gold and all these manners, and he's only producing like 100 more gold than I am with significantly less villager investment. Alright, I have hit age 3. I researched. Now, at age 3, let's talk about the alliances here. I could have gone Angevin, which would have given me Fortress and Dock HP and the Heavy Spearman unit. I could have gone with Castile, which would have empowered my units fighting near sacred sites. Seeing as you want to defend pilgrims. Here we go. Here's a pilgrim, by the way. He's going to go into... Oh, give me 135 gold for free. You know, these units just automatically train. They don't cost anything now that I've researched the tech. Okay. Blacksmith down. Nice. So, I could have gone with Castile. You want to fight around sacred sites a lot anyway, so Castile is a really nice upgrade. That would give me the Sergeant unit, but I didn't do that. Instead, I went with Genoa, which means that pilgrims will generate even more gold. And I unlock the Genoese crossbowman, which, again, for my AoE2 fans, a little bit of a brain breaker here, because the Genoese crossbowman is a really good anti-melee infantry unit. In fact, and I know my AoE4 guys that are watching this is like really old news for y'all, but forgive me, I gotta say it. One of the crazy things in AoE4 is that the archer line and the crossbow line, they're actually two different types of units. So the archers are really good against lightly armored units, units with no or little armor. And then the crossbows are units that are good against heavy armor. And I guess the Genoese, I'm not sure if it's that they have bonus damage against infantry in particular, or if they're just really good crossbowmen. Maybe someone in the comments could sort of clarify how the Genoese are unique. But either way, I knew that I wanted them as my ranged unit of choice. I have 10 more vills, and I've got a larger army too. So I am liking that. I've got a score lead now. Okay, yes. Thank you. I'll take that. Alright, so just keeping things producing here. And why did I pick Genoa? I guess I just wanted more gold. I was kind of banking on this idea that, you know, hopefully I don't get rushed. I maybe anticipated at this point that Lancaster probably is going to rush me. But I was worried about being attacked at this point. That's why I'm producing so many units. And even as I was bragging about a score lead, how the mighty fall, like, taken from my fingertips. Ours is up to the Imperial Age. Gross. And that does mean more manners. Oh my goodness. How many manners does he have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 manners. Oh no. He's got more food coming in. He's got more wood. He's got more. Actually, I do have more coin than he does. But stone is about to even. Either way, the economy here for Lancaster is going to get insane. Yeah, I've got more bills on the map, but this could still be a problem. It's hilarious. One of the things that's so funny is when you play with the English, or obviously now Lancaster, and you start, as they get into later ages, you start hearing words that sound similar. You know, it's like, okay, wait, I think I know what you're saying, and that's always weird in an Age of Empires game, but a lot of fun. Okay, here we go. The first real battle I think is about to take place. The Elite Demi-Lancer coming in. Heavy cav with moderate damage and durability, an effective frontline unit. And fortunately, one of the unique features of the Templar, they have amazing fortresses. You actually get access to the fortress in the Second Age as the Templar, which most do not. Chasing him off with a couple of Hospitaller Knights, coupled with the Genoese crossbowman here. Crossbow is good against armored units, so the Demi-Lancers are worried about that, as well as the Earl's Guard. Boom. The Templar Fortress is up. You can throw these down in Age 2. I just didn't. Again, I was so focused on the economic side of things, and it ultimately paid off, but I could have secured these points even earlier if it were a battle for map control. But no, ours is content to just sort of turtle up, rely on the manners. I tell you, I'm learning a lot. I learned a lot from this match. I'm not going to let that happen twice, not with Lancaster anyway. Scootage coming in for Lancaster. Levies attacks on all vassals to fund the war efforts. Manners generate more gold per minute. No, you don't need that. Gross. Did I ever research? I've got to pick up Sanctuary. That means more pilgrims come, you know, every season. Right now I'm picking up blacksmith techs. My opponent does not have any blacksmith techs, but I do. I'm kind of thinking quality over quantity here, trying to outsmart my opponent, and this is key. In Age of Empires 4, there are multiple ways to win the game. Yes, I could just destroy my opponent militarily. I could also build a wonder, but I can also, and I can also get all the relics, right? But I can also claim all of the sacred sites. And if I control these central areas of the map and leave it uncontested, I will win the game. So that's kind of what I'm thinking. I'm like, all right, I'm the Knights Templar. I'm all about the sacred sites anyway. I'll try to build castles and control the map, play defensively, and force my opponent to come to me. 2 down. 1 more to capture here. You see I'm building infrastructure here behind this castle. More barracks. I want to be able to mass up units. And at home, something else. I don't think I've done this yet. You know, right now it's, yeah, here's a stable. This is the one stable. Keep an eye on the unique unit, the Templar Brother. I've got the Hospitaller Knights. But what about the Templar? Well, here they are. They are a strong cavalry unit. The Templar Brother, an expensive cavalry unit with high damage and melee armor, effective against melee units. I have claimed all 3 sacred sites. So, if I hold all 3 locations, if I don't lose any of them for 10 minutes, I win the game. Also grabbing the relics here, the monks. One thing that's really neat, I mean, I know I'm playing with unique units here, but one thing I love about Age of Empires 4 is even the generic units have the design of their different, you know, factions. So even if I train like regular spearmen or swordsmen or archers or whatever, they're going to have the garb of the Templar Order and just reflect their civilization of choice. And you see that with all of the different civ picks. Just the weapons, the armor, and that part's pretty neat. I'm going up to Age 4, and in Age 4, I could have gone with Poland, where the cavalry gained extra HP and a charge attack. More charge damage, I should say. All cavalry have charge damage, but Poland allied Templar get more. I could have gone with Venice, which would mean better market prices, and they get access to Condottieri, which is like AoE2. Infantry unit, good against gunpowder, that kind of thing. But no, I knew. I am the Iron Kaiser. I rewind time to when I started playing Age of Empires 2, like 20 years ago, off the disc, and I would play nothing but the Teutons and build nothing but Teutonic Knights. I had, for my very first ever Templar game, I'm going Age 4 with the Teutonic Order Alliance, which gives all of my gold units +2 melee armor and unlocks the boy himself, the Teutonic Knight, which is very similar to the AoE2 version, a slow, hard-hitting infantry unit, but it has an extra feature. His fearsome presence actually reduces the armor of nearby enemies. So, that's just, yeah, I'm down for it. Okay, here we go. Big fight happening here now. So, he's got more guys in the field than I do, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it's 48 to my 36. But I have a castle. And this castle, I don't know that I've researched it yet. Yes, I have. Desert Citadels gives my archers more range and armor, +1 melee, +1 pierce armor for all of my units fighting around the fortress. So, fighting a Templar guy under his fortress, kind of a scary thing. Templar Knights, which I did have the foresight to train up. I needed a diversified army. They're going to jump in on the artillery here. Boom. Cannon down. I'm going to get... Oh, can't get on that sprinkled. But the mangonel. Boom, 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 boom. Down. Run! Run! He's got 40... At this point, he has a Vil lead. Ugh. He has a military lead. 40 to my 14. He's got 2,000 more points on the board. This is gross. These cavalry are not long for this world. The villagers are forced to garrison. Okay, this is scary. I feel like if this castle falls, if the fortress goes down, I'm in trouble. I really am. But I'm sort of hoping that maybe my opponent here, ours, is not very good at the micro, and he'll just lose guys in the fortress while I get my cavalry on the archers. Yeoman, the Lancaster unique archer. Different from the longbow. I don't think the regular English get the Yeoman. It's the Lancaster special. Springle down. Alright. As long as the artillery goes down, I feel like my castle will stand. Pull back, pull back. No, 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 pull back. I've got healers, man. I've got healers. You can save him. Okay, he's gonna get out, I think. Okay, and Teutonic Knights are ready to go for round 2 if it comes to it. Whew. Look at this. And now who's got a military lead? It's me. I've got 33 on the field to his 12, but unfortunately, look at the resources he is bringing in. He has nearly double the gold economy that I do. Yeah, I do have pilgrims, that's nice. And I don't know if that factors into the calculations here, maybe it doesn't. So it might be a little better than we're expecting, but it's not great. Okay, I'm scouting out with my Templar. Teutonic Wrath. Debuffs nearby enemies with... I don't mind fighting. This part I'm okay with, but I think the Ribaldiquin in the back... Ugh. Like those Portuguese organ guns in AoE2 or 3 for that matter. Just gonna shred infantry. This is scary. This is really scary. Look at all of these counterweight trebuchets, all of these artillery pieces, the culverin, which is not an anti-artillery, by the way. This is just a good all-around building destroying artillery piece. Don't want to lose this fortress, guys. I don't want to lose it. In the background, I'm trying to mass up more crossbows. I like the idea of more Teutonic Knights serving as the front line, and then Templar behind. I think I need to try to out micro my opponent. You know, swing in with cavalry, hit his weak back line, bait him into a fight. These Templars, by the way, I don't know, I'm not showcasing them enough. One thing I keep doing, which is just so cool, is you pull the Hospitaller Knights in the background, and they just heal up units, right? To keep your force in fighting shape, and I love it. That is part of what I think any good Templar, you know, Crusader, Jerusalem, Outremer civilization should have, is a strong healing presence. Partly because they are like Crusading military orders. Either way, religious orders, and religion in Age of Empires means healers. Either way, the fortress goes down, and so that means I am feeling exposed here. No longer able to really rely on that fortress, especially because the fortress is giving me extra armor. Either way, my game plan here is to sort of rely on units to win the day. I do have a unit lead for now, for whatever that's worth. I feel like he was sort of forced to pull back. But look at the scoreboard, guys. I'm so glad I could not see the scoreboard in this game. 8,000 to 5,000. Yuck. Yuck. He's got a pretty heavy score lead, and it's growing by the minute. So this is going to be a tough one for the Knights Templar. But hey, we're still holding, and I'm doing right now what, you know, any good Templar is doing. I'm praying, because it's like I don't know that I can pull this thing off. I really wanted my first game to be a win, so I'm really hoping like I can make something happen here. But 3.5 minutes, it's only a little bit of time, but I did know, I could sense I'm behind the 8 ball here. This could be a problem. Look at this guy, just all of these villagers. Is there a maximum garrison that the keep can hold? I'm sure that there is, but I think it's a lot. Anyway, he's stretching out into the lands. I've not really claimed all of these areas as I could. I wish I built a fortress here, could shut this down, but no. Instead, he's massing up. Let's see, can we see where he's producing more things? Look at these. Mangonel, more yeomen, hardened spearmen, the Hobara. Cheap cavalry unit, effective at raiding, flanking, and countering ranged units. You know something else I'm doing? And I'm actually really embarrassed by this part, because I could have done better here. I stopped producing vills at around 64, right? What's going on with me? 65 vills here? I should be working my way up to 100. Ours has the right idea. That's probably... That's got to be more of a reason why I'm losing than anything, right? So, got to work on that economy. But, I mean, to give myself some credit, the Templar, they've got a lot of moving parts I'm still getting used to. A landmark victory approaching. Oh, yeah. So, one thing to remember, too. So, normally, one way you win the game is by defeating your opponent, right? Well, in Age of Empires 4, you don't have to destroy everything. Instead, you can destroy their wonders. Their starting town center, and then the wonders. And if you do all that, you can win the game. Well, because the Templar don't get access to wonders, any fortress they build counts as a wonder for the purposes of a landmark victory. So my opponent has destroyed one fortress. I've not built a second. So, assuming I don't do that, then as long as he destroys my starting TC, he wins the game. He now has double my score. It ain't looking good, guys. It ain't looking good. Genoese crossbows, Teutonic Knights. I really want to pull off the win here. Look at him moving in on this sacred site. And I know it is all or nothing here. If he captures this sacred site, it's game over. Okay? So, fortunately, I did kind of see these units come in. And I decided to take my cavalry and go for the artillery. That may be a mistake. But I'm kind of hoping if I can destroy these siege units, then maybe my Teutonic Knights and my crossbows, who are moving, oh no! The Teutonic Knights, they get into kind of a fight all by themselves. They're supposed to be the front line for the crossbows, but instead, they're just fighting by on their own there. So the Knights move on to the archers. This is a good fight. We see here, he has moved several yeomen onto the sacred site in order to capture it. Okay, and I'm moving a guy over, a couple cav units just to get onto the point, keep him from capturing the sacred site. Move! My beautiful poor Teutonic Knights, they're falling. They're falling. The Knights, oh, they're falling. Come on, man. And this guy right here. Come on. The Templar brother, fight to the last man. And he goes down. And ours moves on to press deeper into my base. He's destroying all of my infrastructure. Guys, I am falling apart. These, like back here, I've got, what? I've got more archer ranges and bears, but not a lot. I've not produced enough buildings. The heart of my military production is falling, but it doesn't matter because I'm 30 seconds away from a sacred victory site. He didn't capture the point. He got it down to like the last sliver, but then just pulled his guys off of the point and didn't realize that he left it standing. I still have all 3 points, and I know, I see he's made a mistake, so I'm just trying to distract, and sure enough, he does not recognize it. He doesn't recognize it. 3, 2, 1. The GG, well played, comes in from yours truly. I think he was probably shocked. But the match is complete, and my first ever Templar Knight game is a win. And I think probably a win in the most Templar Knight way imaginable, where it's like, if you know anything of the history of the Kingdom of Jerusalem et al., it's like, that was not supposed to work. How did you guys win? So, let me tell you, this game was wild, and it was just a lot of fun, obviously. Obviously, I've got a lot to learn, a lot more to get better at with this civilization, and with AoE4 for that matter, but it was an absolute blast. And I hope you guys had an absolute blast watching the game and listening along to my cast here, as I'm just sharing really my fun experience getting to know and learn this game. If you enjoyed it, again, please consider liking the video, subscribe to the channel. Both of those things really help me out. I appreciate each and every one of you that does that. And do let me know in the comments if you want to see more Age of Empires 4 or not. For now, this is yours truly, the Iron Kaiser, signing off. Thanks, guys. God bless. Have a great one out there.